Kathy was a 27-year-old young woman, full of dreams and expectations. She lived in a small town in the countryside of the United States, where life always seemed the same. Although she had a stable job as an administrative assistant, she felt that she was not living fully. Every day, she spent hours in an office, looking out the window and imagining the world beyond her town. Kathy had always dreamed of traveling, exploring new cultures, and meeting different people, but she never had the courage to leave her comfort zone. Patrick, on the other hand, was a free-spirited adventurer. At 30, he had traveled to various parts of the world, from backpacking in Europe to exploring in Asia. Despite his experiences, Patrick felt that something was missing in his life. He had a deep passion for photographing landscapes and capturing moments, but the search for something meaningful left him feeling lost. Patrick was at home, preparing for his next trip, when he received a message from a friend inviting him to an expedition to Peru. After reflecting on the invitation, Patrick decided it was time to go. He had always wanted to see Machu Picchu and the rich Peruvian culture, and this trip seemed like the perfect opportunity. However, when looking at the photos from his previous travels, he realized that there was a part of his life he had yet to explore, the connection with other people. Over the years, he had made amazing friends, but he always felt that the most significant experiences were those shared. Meanwhile, Kathy was browsing the internet for inspiration. She came across a video about the trip to Peru and was fascinated. The images of majestic mountains and the vibrant colors of the local culture hypnotized her. The idea of traveling was starting to become a real possibility. For Kathy, the trip was more than just tourism. It was a chance to rediscover herself and break free from her monotonous routine. A month later, Kathy decided to take a brave step and signed up for the same expedition to Peru as Patrick. Although she didn't know anyone, she felt she needed this experience. Alongside other travelers, all with different stories and motivations, Kathy felt a little less alone. She was anxious but also excited about the idea of venturing into such a different place. On the morning of departure, Kathy met Patrick at the airport. He stood out with his large backpack and camera hanging around his neck. Although they didn't know each other yet, there was a shared energy between them, a sense that they were both searching for something greater. During the flight, Kathy and Patrick exchanged glances and small smiles, but they didn't talk. The nervousness and excitement of the journey ahead were palpable. Upon landing in Lima, the capital of Peru, the group was welcomed by local guides who took them on a tour of the city. Kathy was enchanted by the vibrant colors and sounds. She began to open up and talk to other group members, sharing her expectations and anxieties. Patrick, on the other hand, felt inspired by everyone's stories, yet he couldn't take his eyes off Kathy. There was something special about her, a light that drew him in. The following days were filled with adventures. The group explored local markets, learned about Peruvian cuisine, and participated in traditional ceremonies. Kathy was surprised to discover that even in such a different place, there was a feeling of connection. She began to feel more confident, more alive. Patrick, with his camera always at hand, captured moments that showcased the essence of each experience. he realized he was inspired not only by the landscape but also by Kathy herself. When the group finally arrived at Machu Picchu, Kathy and Patrick were among the first to explore the ancient ruins. The sun was rising, and a soft mist covered the mountains. Kathy stood in silence, marveling at the beauty around her. Patrick, meanwhile, was busy trying to capture the perfection of the moment with his camera. When he turned to Kathy and saw the look of wonder on her face, he decided that this would be the most precious moment to be recorded. As they walked through the ruins, Kathy and Patrick began to talk. They shared their life stories, dreams, and what had brought them there. Kathy spoke about her monotonous life and how the trip was helping her rediscover herself. Patrick shared his search for meaning and how he had felt lost, even after so many adventures. That day, they were not just two travelers, they were souls that had met in a magical place, each seeking something that the other seemed to offer. As the trip progressed, Kathy and Patrick became inseparable. They explored valleys, mountains, and cities, always together, sharing laughter and discovering new facets of themselves. Kathy felt more confident with each passing day, while Patrick discovered a new purpose in his photography. What began as a typical trip transformed into a journey of self-discovery and connection. On the last day of the expedition, as the group prepared to return home, Kathy and Patrick found a moment alone. They were on a hill overlooking the mountains, and the sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. Kathy realized that she had changed during the trip. She had freed herself from her insecurities and fears. Patrick, in turn, felt he had found a connection he had never experienced before. Upon returning home, both knew that their lives had changed forever. Kathy was determined to continue exploring the world, while Patrick realized that the true adventure lay in the connections he made. They said goodbye at the airport, promising to stay in touch. Although the journey had ended, the friendship that had begun there was just starting. As the months passed, Kathy and Patrick continued to communicate. They shared their experiences, dreams, and plans for new travels. The connection they had found in those Peruvian mountains transformed into something deep, and both knew that the world still had much to offer. The trip to Peru not only taught them about adventure but also about the power of human connections. Kathy and Patrick learned that sometimes, it takes stepping out of your comfort zone to discover who you truly are. And amidst the mountains and different cultures, they found not only each other but also the courage to live life to the fullest. Life is a journey, and each step, each choice, can lead to new destinations and exciting stories. If you enjoyed the story, please like and subscribe.